When buying a house, what's something you thought was minor but has become the bane of your existence? We live in a 100-year-old house with a huge, open basement. Our washer and dryer are in our basement. For some stupid reason, known only to them, the previous owners installed the washing machine and dryer on opposite sides of the basement, instead of side by side the way normal people would have done. I bought one of those professional chrome laundry carts that the laundromats use to shuttle loads across the basement between machines. Eventually, I plan to rewire the place and relocate the dryer next to the washing machine. Never buy a house where the kitchen, laundry, or living room wall is shared with the master bedroom if you are a light sleeper. Bamboo. Someone before me planted super invasive, 15-foot tall growing bamboo in the backyard. It was spreading so wildly it was uplifting the granite pool and growing under the foundation of the house. You could see the remnants of a barrier of sorts of where they initially planted it, obviously not knowing how bamboo grows. I myself did not know, until I purchased the house. Absolute nightmare. A guy once said to me that bamboo is like a cold, slow fire that is alive. If you don't keep it in check, it will destroy everything. It's worse than that, it's impossible to keep it in check. You have to remove it completely, and I mean every scrap of root. After I yanked out mine, I was still digging out new sprouts for the next 6 months. Oftentimes the new plant was growing from literally 1.5 inches of root that I had missed. Think of every tiny piece of root as a new seed. I'm going through this right now with a giant yucca. It's been 2 years and I'm still excavating sprouts from the tiny pieces of roots I missed the first 10 times. The best way to get rid of bamboo is to move. I just bought a house with an in-ground pool. I replaced the pump and redid all the PVC. There were leaks in the PVC, so I bought glue and more PVC and redid all the PVC again. Now the couple-week-old pump stopped working. I can do pool chemistry all day, but I hate this mechanical maintenance. I finally broke down and am having professionals come out to look at it. I swear the pool is my father-in-law's favorite part of their house because he loves mechanical maintenance. He has a desk job and seems to thrive at figuring out how to MacGyver things for his pool. I swear he invents projects for it just to have something to tinker on. I just opened my pool Sunday. We had a new liner put in last year and they closed the pool for us. Well, I don't know what they did, but there were leaks everywhere. I think they tried to blow the lines but didn't read the labels, so they overpressured closed lines. So I turned off the pump, grabbed my Teflon tape and a strap wrench and just redid all of the connections. It took about 15 minutes, but it's taut like a torture again. My biggest problem with the pool is all of the animals that think it's an estuary. I scoop up 15+ turtles a year. I would say the same thing about frogs, but I'm pretty sure it's just the same asshole leopard frog coming back thrice a week. When a year later neighbors from hell buy the house next door. I had an asshole neighbor who would skim the dead bugs, dead frogs, and debris from his pool and dump them in my yard. I found out when I had a tap 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 noise and looked over to see him reaching his pool skimmer over his fence to knock the rotting stuff into my yard. So later when I found dog crap in my yard, I picked it up with a shovel and yeeted it over the fence into his pool. He was a terrible neighbor and always did stuff like this. One time, he cranked up the radio in his car, which was sitting in the driveway at the front of his house, loud enough so he could hear while mowing his lawn. Specifically, he wanted to listen to music while he mowed his backyard. The whole neighborhood hated him. The original owners of that house installed a pool. Code requires a barrier, but instead of screening the pool, they put up a pressure-treated board-on-board privacy fence around the backyard. Whatever. It's their pool, and they will be the ones to have to clean out leaves, etc. When this guy moved in, he decided he wanted a better view, since all he could see was the inside of his privacy fence. So he decided to knock out every other board from the fence for about a 16-foot section. It looked awful. The HOA refused to do anything about it. Why do we pay HOA fees, then? So the easiest solution was to plant a hedge on my property to hide it. He finally moved out a few years later. The new owners, who are quiet and respectful, replaced the fence. We moved in without knowing we had the neighbors from hell. They seemed nice enough at first, but it's become a major nightmare. For Halloween, I hung a fake ghoul from a hook by our front door. Since it was from a hook, it's swaying in the wind. This lady apparently had never heard of wind before and went around telling all the neighbors we purposefully make it face her house. They hung a picture of Jesus in the window to counteract the evil. One time she cornered my husband outside and accused us of watching them and claimed he only went outside when she was there. But in he next breath yelled at him for always going inside and taking our kids with us when we see them outside. Her husband then joined the fray and threatened to fight my husband. I realize there is clearly untreated mental illness, so I try to have some grace, but I'm getting really tired of minding my own business gardening in my yard and getting randomly yelled at. We can't get our privacy wall up fast enough. On the positive side, the crazy neighbor has their own crazy neighbor and we do get endless entertainment of them yelling at each other, spraying each other with hoses and calling each other colorful names. The other day my crazy neighbor started barking at her crazy neighbor like a dog for at least 3 minutes, so there's that. I bought a flat. The neighbors immediately below us smoke. A lot. All the time. They smoke so much that you can smell it when you open the kitchen cupboards under and next to the sink because the scent creeps up through the holes around the pipework. Can't open the windows in the summer because as soon as they cough themselves awake in the morning the stench of cigarettes starts drifting up through them and fills out home. They smoke in every room, and in the bedrooms till after midnight every day. I'm an ex-smoker and I'm still finding it disgusting. I would go insane. I have to move.